What is self-concept? Why does it matter for manifestation? And how can you ultimately shift your self-concept so that you can hit all your goals? Welcome to my channel, Inspire at Random. I'm doing this video again in the car. My parents came to visit and they're still sleeping, so just trying not to make too much noise in the house. Self-concept is what you see yourself as. On this note, take some time after this video, or even pause this video right now, write it down in your phone notes or physical notes, even better, like I am a whatever. Let your mind flow and see what you have to describe about yourself. Let's say your name is John. My name is John and I am a dad, mechanic, stressed, whatever words that come to your mind, just write that down. This is your self-concept. You will soon see why self-concept is so important for manifestation, because if you want to manifest certain things, if you've been following my channel for some time, you've probably already done a goal-setting exercise. And if you've already done so, look at your list of goals and see how your self-concept fits into your goals. If it does, great, you're on the right track. I was recently going through a manifestation book. There were some exercises, and I realized that my self-concept is congruent with the goals that I want to achieve. But I wouldn't have said the same thing, say 6 months or 1 year ago. In regards to congruency between your self-concept and your goals, your self-concept can ultimately accept or reject your goals, because when you look at your goals and then your self-concept, you could possibly be going like, this is just a daydream, this is just a fantasy, or hey, I can actually do that. Just try and imagine this for a moment. If you run a marathon before, comment down beneath this video, yes, I've run a marathon. I would like to hear from you. I'm sure there are many of you who've never run a marathon. For those who've never run a marathon, if I were to ask you, do you think you're physically capable of completing a marathon? And what if, I'm going to introduce to you the finishing line theory. If you've never started on this marathon, 42.2 kilometers, you might be thinking that, oh crap, that's a great distance. That's like the distance between home and work and back. I don't think I can do that on foot. So, well, your self-concept says you can't. But if you are aimlessly trekking around, doing a whole bunch of errands, like there was this one day when I was in Istanbul, I had to go across multiple government agencies within an area. It was so inconvenient to call for transport that I ended up doing everything on foot. And the same evening, I went for a techno party. In that day alone, I did like 38 kilometers on foot. If you ask me, at that point of time, do you think you can complete a marathon? Hell yeah! Because my self-concept says, if I can go through hilly terrain during the day without food, and in the evening go to a techno party, chalk up 38 kilometers, then what is a marathon? It's no big deal. It's just a matter of I have to do this whole distance at one go. That's all there is. Now I'm going to talk about how you can shift your self-concept. If this is your manifestation goal, I talked about raising your frequency, right? As you raise your personal frequency, your self-concept will be different and more upgraded and better and more premium and more supreme than the previous form. This is inevitable. You're raising frequency, the self-evolution, the self-renewal, the self-revolution, until you get to that level that you need to be. For example, the time when I was a company intern, how did I go from company intern to management? If you looked into the actions, it was because there was a do or die incident where I went rogue. I wasn't listening to commands. I wasn't giving feedback to the people I was supposed to report to. I went out and did my own actions. Fortunately, at the end of it, my ideas and actions prevailed. I was recognized for my decisiveness. Therefore, I was promoted to a much higher spot. But that was also because my self-concept said I had trained for enough. I'm way too good to just be an intern. I'm way too good to be continuing to take instructions for people who are less competent than myself. And for my standard, I deserve much more. And you know what? I need much more in my life. Therefore, I know that this will save the company. This action will get me to where I want to be, or at least closer. If I put this into a measurement, right? Let's say you want to make $1 million a year. You're currently making $20,000 a year. To go from $20,000 to $1 million a year, you start thinking like, okay, I know what actions, responsibilities there is as a person who makes $20,000 a year. But in my mind, what could the responsibilities of $1 million a year earner be different from mine? At this point of time, it may not be apparent to you, but it will become increasingly apparent. Because as you increase your capabilities along with your self-concept, you could be astronomically jumping $20,000 a year, your worth could go up to $80,000 a year, and at that point, which obviously there's a time difference in between, and that time difference depends on how fast you can shift and evolve in that time difference. And when you're at that level, you start to realize, okay, $1 million a year kind of looks like this. I'm still a bit foggy about this, but you know what? I'm gonna keep pushing forward. As you keep pushing forward, before you know it, you're at $250,000 a year. At that point of time, with the context that you have, because when your vibration upgrades, the world around you changes, or the world reacts to you differently. Different opportunities and people get exposed to you. Suddenly, you see a lot more possibility for these goals that you want to achieve. Finally, you did a couple of things right in your life. You're now worth $500,000 a year. You have an even clearer idea of what it is to make $1 million a year. Because frankly, 500,000 and $1 million, it may be a 100% gap, but this 100% gap could just be 1 or 2 life decisions away. In a book and as well as a movie, this is called the difference of a razor's edge. At that point, it's just the same as in my example that I shared with you. If I could walk 18 kilometers in the city central on hilly terrain plus 20 kilometers worth at a techno party in a day, what's another 5 kilometers gonna do? I know I can easily cover the distance of a marathon. I don't know how much time it's gonna take me to do that, but I know that I'm capable of covering that distance. Finishing line theory is also like when you know it's just that much further away, it's no big deal, easy. Or even if it's like some difficulty, yeah, well, I'm just gonna endure a little bit more and we'll be fine with it. So, I talked about how shifting the self-concept would get you closer and closer to achieving your goal, but how do you actually shift your self-concept? You can do so with affirmations and visualizations. If you look at my Instagram profile, it actually says, "The Dad Athlete with a Cat." This has been my self-description on Instagram for quite some time ago. Who would have guessed that just seeing that thing on my profile, I've begun to identify with it over time. Fast forward to today, even at the age of 40, I'm perfectly athletic, I don't have any knee pains, I run faster than high schoolers, almost able to dunk, even though I'm a short guy, and able to pick up and excel at various sports, even though I had no prior experience. Because this description affirms my reality. It affirms my concept. If you look into some of the affirmations that I wrote, I was trying to see how powerful affirmations can help, right? So I wrote something totally ridiculous. I wrote, I'm a fit, healthy, young, youthful 23 years old. Months down the road, at the age of 40, I'm looking like way younger than my peers. Like my peers are like balding, overweight, obese, heart disease, high blood pressure, cholesterol. I'm in the best shape of my life. I'm even fitter than I was when I was 18. It can be done. I can do it. It took some time, but it can be done. And it took some time because I had to shift my self-concept. Affirmations really work. Look at my video on affirmations and also use the affirmations track that I've prepared for you. Go check it out inside of my Inspire at Random school community. Go through the previously recorded Be Inspiration webinars and you'll be on your way to your goals. Check out the affirmations video over here. And one more thing, I absolutely do not identify as a Toyota driver.